Hey, what's up? This is Dave from Jane's Addiction, and you're watching the Kerrang podcast.
Kerrang! Hello and welcome to the Kerrang podcast, day 2 at Reading. Here I am with Dave Navarro of Jane's Addiction. How are you doing today?
Very well. How are you?
Excellent. The weather's not what you're used to in California.
I don't know. I just came from New York. I flew in from New York where they're having a huge storm right now. So rainy skies, and to be honest with you, I'm from LA, and we don't get a whole lot of weather.
Yeah.
You know, it's pretty much 72, sunny and perfect all the time. And,
oh, I'm jealous.
You know, no, don't be, because I feel that the gloom and the rain and the overcast, really, there's a little bit more of mysticism in the air.
Right.
You know, I feel that way anyway.
Do you get inspired on these trips?
Yeah, when I come to the UK, especially, I love the weather. You know, I love bundling up. I love the darkness and this, like, the ominous vibe. You know?
Cool. Well, this is our gift to you. There you go. Bit of precipitation.
Cheers.
So, how are you enjoying being back in the UK apart from the weather?
Well, so far so good. I got here yesterday, so it's been a lot of fun. You know, we just kind of roamed about last night, and I went and popped in a couple of tattoo shops where some buddies work, and you know, just straight up UK stuff. Cool.
Did you get anything while you were there?
No, not yet. Monday.
Oh, right. Cool.
Yeah.
Excellent. So you're going to be on stage very soon. What can we expect from Jane's Addiction's Reading show? I understand.
We intend to play music.
Yeah, that's always good.
Yeah, you can expect that.
Yeah.
What else? I mean, I don't know what we're supposed to bring.
I've heard that there may be some sort of performance artists.
No, not this time. I'm afraid. No. No.
Oh well.
Well, we'll be performing, and we are artists, but we aren't performance artists.
Cool. That's
no,
fine.
We usually have a couple of performance artists with us, but you can imagine with the travel, it doesn't. It doesn't always go that way.
Yeah, totally. So October 3rd, you're releasing The Great Escaped Artist.
Yes.
Can you tell us a bit about that? You know, the kind of the journey you took to write the music.
I mean, that's a pretty broad question.
I love broad
questions. Yeah, no, well, I don't.
Right,
I mean, it is what it is. It's a collection of songs that we made, and we decided to put out a record.
Yeah. I mean, how would it compare to Strays, for instance?
I don't know. It's not the same record, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't really compare things that we've done. I don't know. That's for the public to decide.
Yeah.
You know. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, they're all Jane's Addiction songs.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, did you approach anything differently this time? Have you sort of done? I understand you kind of held back on the solos and stuff more and concentrated.
Yeah, as a guitar player, certainly I just tried to kind of reinvent my playing a little bit, make it a little bit simpler, and you know, we have a back catalog of stuff that I get to go off on and do the old stuff.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of my older playing obviously there, but we were just more interested in making great music, and I, as a guitar player, sometimes to evolve and move forward with your craft, you have to be restrictive with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And some of my favorite artists of all time, not even only in music, have done that. So I kind of took a cue from them and just kind of like had some more restraint.
Yeah.
And you know, experimented a little bit more in the studio. I mean, one of the things, I guess, to answer your question about the journey, you know, we had Stephen Perry and myself. Dave Siddick was on co-writing and producing with us. And then we really just used the studio itself as an instrument, you know, and just kind of got into that. Sometimes it can be a nightmare because your possibilities are limitless.
Yeah.
And Perry and I especially are the kind of guys that love to turn knobs.
Yeah.
For long periods of time.
Right.
And every time we turn something, we think it's brilliant, and we can't decide which turn of the knob to land on.
Okay.
So that could be time consuming. So luckily we had Rich Costi there as a filter, because if it had it not been for him, Perry and I would literally be in the studio right now turning knobs.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't be talking.
All right. Well, I'm glad you stopped turning the knobs for a while. You worked briefly with Duff McKagan for a while. What was that like, sort of working with it?
Well, it was great because Duff, you know, I've been playing with Duff for a decade, you know, in different live scenarios. So it was pretty natural. I mean, he's just a friend. I talked to him today. Playing with him is pretty, you know, at this point we have a musical relationship.
Yeah.
So it was good, and we wrote some good songs with him, and they're going to be on the record, and you know, it was a blast.
Awesome. One song that's from James Dixon's back catalogue is Superhero, and it's you know, it's the the theme now to Entourage.
Yes.
And that series is now winding down for the final thing. Are you a fan of the show?
You know, what's funny is Superhero was in the Entourage opening credits, and it was in it for like 3-4 years before I ever watched one of them.
Oh, right.
And then I watched the first episode, and then I got hooked. And then I watched maybe 4 seasons back to back, and then I just dropped off.
Right.
But yeah, I was a fan of the show.
Yeah.
But I didn't know I was a fan of the show when the song went in there.
Right.
So I was like, uh-oh, this better be good. And I flipped it on. It was good.
Do you think it's like a realistic kind of representation of like...
of LA, Hollywood?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it's I hate to say it, but yeah, it is. That's exactly what LA is like.
Excellent. That's cool. So, obviously doing Reading and Leeds this weekend. Are there any plans to sort of visit the UK on you know, sooner rather than later on a sort of proper tour?
I don't know, man. We don't have our dates yet, but you know, this is... put it this way, if I'm going to be on a plane for 9 or 10 hours, this is where I want to come.
Right.
It's just the way it is. You know, I love the UK.
Right.
Not the further east I go, the more miserable I become.
Okay.
I don't know why that is.
Yeah.
You know, I just like this is about as east as I like to go.
Right.
So yeah, the answer is yeah, for sure. We'll be here plenty of times.
It's like a lot of British music you sort of grew up listening to and kind of influenced you playing.
Now?
It just, even when you first picked up a guitar, was...
Oh yeah, well I mean, I'm just a huge, the old school goth scene was just where I fell in love again with my instrument. I grew up playing, Stephen Perkins and I were in a heavy metal band in high school.
Right.
And we played just like early Metallica, Iron Maiden, whatever it was that was hard at the time.
Yeah.
That's where we got our chops, is from like trying to emulate those bands. And then in the 80s I kind of fell in love with the goth movement. And that's a real reserve.
You can see why goth happens when we've got weather like this.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
But that was a time when I really learned about restrictive nature to approaching the guitar. So that was a weird combination of really into heavy metal, really into the 70s, 60s music, you know, Zeppelin and Cream and Hendrix. And then I was also really into Daniel Ash and Robert Smith. And so those are all my influences as a guitar player.
Yeah.
And I try and touch upon all those different schools in my playing. But yeah, so I think that's one of the reasons why this country is so important to me.
Cool. You
know, not to mention this is where Hendrix broke. This is where the Beatles are from. This is where Zeppelin's from. This is where Cream is. You know, every band that I grew up thinking of as iconic places that I wanted to get to in my career, from here.
Cool.
Even the Americans that are from America didn't break until they broke here.
Yeah.
You know, so this is a magical country for me.
Well, brilliant. Well, thanks for joining us on
That's
the
my pleasure,
podcast,
man. Thank you.
And enjoy the rain.
All right, bro. Thank you.
Thanks. Kerrang!